Welcome to the Equipped Disciple channel. My name is Rick McClatchy. I will be your host. We are here to be and to make disciples of Jesus, and we do that through daily devos, through Sunday sermons, and through other discipleship resources. We are here to equip you to be an equipped disciple. And welcome into another day of your daily devos. I'm Pastor Rick, and we are in Genesis chapter 12. Just making some steady progress through the book. And jumping in through to verses 10 through 20, we're going to finish off chapter 12 today. So just continue making some progress. It's good. You're with me. I appreciate it. Like and comment and subscribe. Do all the nice things. That'd be great. Right now, just go down and hit the like button right now. Good job. Bravo. Comment as we're going through. Love to hear what your favorite lesson in the book of Genesis has been so far. Just let me know what you've been discovering, whether it's through the videos or just through your own independent study maybe that's been kind of spurred on by our little series. It'd be awesome to hear from you. So drop those in the comments. And with that, we're going to go ahead and jump into verse 10. There was a famine in the land. So Abram went down to Egypt to stay there for a while because the famine in the land was severe. When he was about to enter Egypt, he said to his wife, Sarai, "Look, I know what a beautiful woman you are." He was a smart guy. Okay, so I know what a beautiful woman you are. When the Egyptians see you, they will say, "This is his wife," and they'll kill me, but let you live. See, because they had a high view of marriage in these cultures, but a low view of people's lives, and so they respected the fact that they shouldn't just take your wife because she's your wife. But hey, you know what? If you're dead, you're not married anymore. So that kind of takes care of that problem. So that's kind of the issue that they had going on here, is they did not have a high respect for human life when it came to people that were foreigners, coming into their land. So when the Egyptians see you, they will say, "This is his wife," and they will kill me, but let you live. Please say you're my sister, so that it will go well for me. Because of you, and my life will be spared on your account. Now, and the funny thing is, there's a little bit of truth to what he's saying, because technically Sarai was a half sister, so they have the same dad, different mom. So here we go. Some reflections on this part of the story so far. Interesting how, we talked just in the last chapter about how he cried out to the Lord. And here we see a stinking famine coming on the land. And there's no pausing to consult with the Lord. No crying out to the Lord here. No building an altar. No nothing. No going back to the altar to remind yourself of God's promises. So it's kind of like, Abram, what's going on, dude? Like, you're just relying on your own wisdom. You're just going to take care of your own stuff. And obviously you're not very good at it, because now you're having to lie to people to stay alive. So not pausing to consult the Lord. Now, I also want to be careful and verify. I'm not throwing any stones here, because if there's anybody that's ever been up against some challenging situations and didn't consult the Lord, that's me, that's me. I'm here. I'm guilty of that. So I definitely have had that problem before. Okay. I definitely, I'd even say, I've sinned in that way, I think, because I think to not pause and ask the Lord for help and to get clarity, I think almost certainly leads us towards sin. So famines are a great time to call on the Lord. And I think this is a really great way for us to frame our mindset that when difficulties, challenges of any kind come our way, famine type situations, tough economic conditions, etc. I don't know, world pandemics and stuff like that, are great times for us to call out to the Lord, to look at the altars that have been built in our lives, those memorial stones that have been placed in our lives, to look back and to recall the promises that the Lord has made in the past and where he has indicated to us that he's going to take us in the future. So just remember these times of famine, these times of challenge, these times of testing are great times for us to, rather than just using our best intellect and making our best plan, let's call out to the Lord. Let's cry out to him. Let's review and remember those altars. And then we've got this interesting case about Abram's lying, or at least being deceptive, right? Because he's leaving them with a false understanding of the truth. So he is saying things that technically are true, but are meant to leave them with a false understanding of the truth. So it's very strange how God allows him to still be blessed even when he's acting out of fear and being dishonest, right? So God is far more gracious and merciful to us than I certainly would be if I was the one in charge. And this is why I think we all need to take a step back sometimes and just go, man, it is a good thing I'm not in charge. As much as we would like to be in charge, as much as we think we've got a handle on the right way things should be taken care of, I think when you see situations like this, and you're like, man, God was so nice to Abram here. He was so gracious, so merciful to him that he didn't allow him to get his tail kicked by the Egyptians as he went into their land and basically took advantage of them. So God is so much more gracious, more merciful than we deserve and than we would even expect. And I think that's a really powerful revelation about the character of God. It doesn't mean go out and do whatever the heck you want, go out and lie anytime you want, go out and deceive people anytime you want. It does not mean that at all. But I think, that's obviously one side of the problem. The other side of the problem is when we mess up, we make wrong choices, we go down the wrong path, we sin, and then we refuse to get up again because we're so convinced that God is so interested in punishing us or, not speaking to us or whatever, whatever the response is. That I think that this revelation of who God is critical to combat that tendency. So, all right, let's jump over to the next slide. We're going into verse 14. When Abram entered Egypt, the Egyptians indeed saw that the woman was very beautiful, and Pharaoh's officials saw her and praised her to Pharaoh. So the woman was taken to Pharaoh's household. I mean, I wonder how Sarai felt about all of this, right? Like, she's just trying to respect and, submit to what Abram is saying. And now all of a sudden she's getting hauled off to Pharaoh's household. He treated Abram very well because of her. And Abram acquired flocks and herds and male and female donkeys, male and female slaves and camels. What? Like, check out that list. Flocks, herds, male and female donkeys, male and female slaves, and camels. But the Lord struck Pharaoh and his household with severe plagues because of Abram's wife Sarai. So he's getting his socks blessed off. And Pharaoh, who's doing stuff he doesn't even know he's doing, like he's doing it all completely out of ignorance, is getting a plague. So Pharaoh sent for Abram and said, "What have you done to me? Why didn't you tell me she was your wife? Why did you say she's my sister so that I took her as my wife?" So you're getting the full revelation of what he was doing with Sarai. He was planning on taking her into his basically his harem, of women. So why did you say she's my sister and so that I took her as my wife? Now here's your wife, take her and go. So he's he's like, hey, get away from me, man, because we're tired of this plague. We need this to go away, and you're the problem. Then Pharaoh gave his men orders about him, and they sent him away with his wife and all he had. So they let him keep all that stuff. They let him keep all that stuff and just sent him away to just say, hey, get out of our hair because you're a problem, This is crazy how much he increased. How Abram prospered at the hands of the Egyptians even in a time of famine. He increased in a time of famine when mostly all he did was lie and deceive. When we're following God's lead, not even famines have the power to slow us down. Not even famines have to slow us down. Like, God is above all those natural circumstances, even when you're being a little fishy. Like, that's how good God is. Now, we need to strive to be people of honor and integrity. And so don't be following, like, this is definitely descriptive, not prescriptive. Like, this is not telling you, hey, go live like Abram did here. This is an example of how he lived, and yet God was gracious anyways. But that's not something you want to be banking on, right? Like, you want to know in your heart, like, man, God is so good. He's so much better than I could ever deserve. But that needs to stir obedience and responsiveness to his principles and his laws. And we need to be honest people. We need to tell the truth. We need to not lead people on and deceive people. We need to trust that God is going to take care of us. Abram prospered at the hands of the Egyptians, even in a time of famine. He increased. When everybody else was decreasing, Abram was increasing. I just think, and I've had a few personal experiences in my life where this was reflected, like where, man, just tons of people were going through really hard times, but yet my situation was even improving. Like, I was preserved and then improving. And it's where the only credit you could give was to God, because it certainly wasn't like, ooh, me, I'm so awesome. So just thinking about Abram trying to follow the Lord, not consulting with the Lord when he should have, doing his own thing, making his own plan, trying to pull a rabbit out of the hat, in his own situation, led him into a challenging situation where he decided he needed to lie about his wife. But God chose to, cause him to succeed, to bless him, to prosper him, to increase him through that whole experience. Incredible. God is amazing. That's how you need to walk away from these scriptures just going like, whoa, God is so much nicer, so much better, so much like more merciful, more gracious to me than I could ever imagine. And that is amazing and so comforting. And I'm so thankful. And I want to worship him more and more as a result. Like, that needs to be our response. So with that, a big hearty God bless you. Have a great day, and I will see you tomorrow.